And hey guys, what's up? Today I'm back in Bee Swarm Simulator, and I'm going to be going over all of my tips and my guide on how to boost effectively. See, a lot of players that can waste their boosts and not make as much honey. I have a personal friend of mine who doesn't make much honey from boost and could really use these tips. So I'm just going to get straight into the video. So, these are just the basics of boosting, which I'll go over before I go into hive color specifics. So, basing boosting, you want to, if you can, use loaded dice. And so the best trick to get 4 times for half an hour, you pop a glitter in the field you're standing in, wait about 30 seconds, then use loaded dice till you get your field. Then, like, when you have about 10 seconds left on your buff, you'll be able to use glitter again. So that means that you can keep a four times field booster half hour boost, which when you have high instant conversion is completely possible to survive with all of your micro converters, and is what you should be doing on your boost as long as you can. Now, when you're boosting, you should always have either a super smoothie. On the best case scenario, super smoothie boosts are really good. They will make you a butt ton of honey. Or if you can't have a super smoothie on, have a purple potion plus oil and enzymes done yourself. Then you should also, if you have like an end game friend with a fuzzy hive, or you can go to the Discord server and hire someone, just have a fuzzy hive standing in your field, because they can help your field go to higher levels, especially if you're trying to boost in the lower tier fields. The single flowers get really annoying, so if you can have a fuzzy hive leveling it up, you should, but I understand that for a lot of players this isn't possible. Now, you should have your sprinklers on the field, however high they are. The sprinklers will help you maintain the flowers, and they will help you boost just better in general. And you should be also autoing gumdrops the entire time, and if it's during Beesmas, auto snowflakes as well. Now, another thing that you should have before your boost are these things up here. Nectars. They can increase certain types of pollen and other stats. It's recommended to have all of them for all the stat increases, but if you can just have the ones of your boost's pollen type, that's still great. Also, one thing that's overlooked in Boost that I've also overlooked until now are cloud vials. Are actually really useful, because when standing under a cloud you get 25% pollen, and it'll also regen the field. So popping cloud vials is also cool. Now, also, if you have a friend in the server, you can build up a jelly bean sharing buff with them right before the boost, and also pop jelly beans during your boost, so you can just get the pollen multipliers from the beans themselves. Then, if you're saving up for an item, this isn't recommended, but if you can, use coconuts. That they're a nice bit of conversion, and they'll just help. So that's your basics for boosting. Now I'll get into more end-gamey hive specifics. So if you're just sort of mid-game like me, here's the point where I would leave this video and take the advice. Though if you're more end-game, you're going to want to stay and listen. So, for white hives, one thing that you always have to do, you have to have enough gumdrops to auto throughout the entire boost. If you can get one of your friends to auto them for you as well, that would be really useful, because gumdrops help you get the gummy star. Now, once you've gotten a gummy star, you should be collecting lots of goo, and especially if you're a white hive, one great way to collect a ton of goo is through triangulate, because if you can stretch your triangle really far, it'll collect all of the pollen and goo underneath it. So triangulate is essential for building your gummy star. You should always, especially if you're white hive there, you should always be staying in your marks, because your mark tokens give really high pollen multipliers and really great instant conversion, to the point where you might not have to use a single micro if you're really good at it. And also, if you have the gummy baller, taking advantage of gummy ball, making it bounce around a ton of walls, collecting goo as good as possible is essential if you do have the item. And a last thing is that you should always be keeping a 10 times precision stack from the few precise bees that you should have in your hive. That's about it for the in-depth information on white hive boosting. Now I'm going to get on to blue hive boosting. Now, it's important to understand that with Blue Hive, most of your honey will not come in the moment. Most of it will come from your balloons. So, and also for blue, it's recommended that you only really boost on Pinefield because the other blue fields are too long. Your balloons will get really dispersed, or Stumpfield, it's just a bit too small and doesn't have the greatest of flowers. So on Beesmas, you should always be using snowflakes because blue depends very much on capacity. Blue boosting capacity is essential. So if you have the Tide Popper, you should be using the Tide Waves to collect tokens from your bees, especially the balloon tokens that you should be getting from your various buoyant bees. Now, if you have Star Shower, which you should on your double SSA passives, you should always be trying to collect Star Shower as long as it's near you and it's not under the big pine tree in Pinefield. So, and another thing, which is a thing with the fact that you're making a lot of honey from your balloons, is that you should always be staying under your balloons so you can maximize that honey. Now, when your pop star activates, what you want to do is you want to forget most things and just pop a ton of bubbles to get it to full pop star, then go ham on your balloons. This will clear a lot of your balloons from the field, and this is actually when it's recommended to go and convert your balloon because you'll have a ton of nearly maxed balloons flowing to your hive. But if you continue boosting, then deflation takes place and you lose billions and billions of honey. So right after your massive pop star balloon fest, then you should be going to convert. That's about it for blue hives for some specific information that I have. Now, last but definitely not least, because this is what I want to become, a red hive boosting. A very important thing to understand is that you will make most of your honey during your Scorching Star, so you always want to be maximizing how much you get from Scorch Star. Now, you want to obviously keep your precision stack, but for Scorch Star it requires you to collect red boost tokens, and you probably shouldn't be hitting your precision targets too much during a Scorching Star because your flame buff, I believe, does get taken away once the Precise Bee shoots you if you're standing in the target. Now, you want to take advantage of your X flame to build up a lot of flames, especially during your Scorching Star. And once you have that, then you can collect some targets from your Precise Bees because your target actually instantly convert your bag, and your instant conversion is a bit lower on the red boost because you haven't got too much go on the field. I would still recommend to be autoing gumdrops because you always should during any boost apart from blue, but you will be getting a bit less instant conversion, so you want to stand inside of the Precise Bee's target because it actually fully converts your entire bag. Even I didn't know that until the making of this video. And you should also be always staying inside of your marks and keeping a 10 times precision stack. So there you go, there's my specific information on all of the types of hives and how they should be boosting. So that is my tips on how to boost, and you can have a great time boosting. I hope you make a ton of honey and have a great day. Goodbye, guys.